Alright guys, welcome back to the second part of section 7.6 where we are continuing to factor polynomials, but this time it's where our a value does not equal 1. Alright, so remember the trinomials that we are looking at are ax squared plus bx plus c, and we are looking where a does not equal 1. Okay, we are using the slip and slide method. Okay, so in our next example, we've got 2x squared minus x minus 6. So remember, it's called the slip and slide method. So we are going to slip this 2 to the back and multiply it. X squared minus x minus 12. And then we are going to factor it like we normally would. Okay, we're going to multiply to that negative 12 and then add to a negative 1. Multiplying to a negative means a positive and a negative. And we are adding to a negative 1, so that means that our bigger number is going to be negative. So we end up with negative 4 and a positive 3. So we get, in our first set of parentheses, x minus 4. And then in our second set, x plus 3. Okay, once we have that, don't forget our next step is to take this a value of 2 and place it under our two factors. X minus 4 over 2, that can simplify to x minus 2. And then the second set does not simplify. All right, so I'm going to take this 2 and I'm going to slide it back up to the front. So we get the quantity of x minus 2 times the quantity of 2x plus 3. Okay, so we slipped that 2 to the back and then we slide it back up to the front. And of course, I always suggest that you check your answers, okay? So you can multiply it back out and check your answers. We did that with the previous two examples. So you know that you can always check your answers, all right? For our next example, we've got 10x squared plus 3x minus 1. I'm going to take this a value of 10 and slip it to the back. So I get x squared plus 3x minus 10. Factor it using the x method as normal. So multiply to a negative 10 and add to 3. Okay, so if I think about two factors, I know that I want one negative and one positive. I want my positive to be bigger because I have more positives. So I would have 5 and negative 2. So I've got x plus 5. And then my other factor is x minus 2. From here, I take this a value and bring it down. This first set, I get x plus 5 over 10 becomes 1/2. And then my second set of parentheses, 2 over 10 becomes 1 over 5. Again, I don't want to leave it as that fraction, so I just slide it up to the front. So my first set, I've got the quantity of 2x plus 1. And the second set, I've got the quantity of 5x minus 1. All right. Next example. We've got two more. All right. 3x squared plus 22x plus 7. Going to slip that 3 to the back. X squared plus 22x plus 21. Use my normal x method. Multiply to 21, add to 22. They're both positive, and they're actually really close, so that should tell you your 21 and 1 are your factors. All right, so I get x plus 21 and x plus 1. And then, of course, don't forget, we have to put this 3 under. So I get x plus 7, and the second one does not simplify, but then I just bring this 3 up to the front, I slide it back, so I get the quantity of x plus 7 times the quantity of 3x plus 1. All right, and we've got one more that we are going to do our slip and slide on. All right, so slip that 3 to the back. X squared minus 20x minus 21. Use the normal x method. We are going to multiply to a negative 21 and then add to a negative 20. Again, we're using our 21 and 1, but this time, since we're multiplying to a negative, we know we have to have a negative and a positive. And since we're adding to a negative, that means that our bigger number is going to be negative. So I've got a negative 21 and a positive 1. So I get the quantity of x minus 21 times the quantity of x plus 1. From here, we take this a value and bring it under. Our first quantity becomes x minus 7. Our second quantity could not simplify. So our final factorization is the quantity of x minus 7. When we slide that 3 up front, quantity of 3x plus 1. Okay, and again, as a reminder, check your answers. Okay, so make sure that you check your answers by foiling it back out. X times 3x, you get 3x squared. X times 1 gives you a positive x. Negative 7 times 3x gives you negative 21x. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Combine those like terms. 3x squared minus 20x minus 7. And that, again, is exactly what we started with. All right? So, you do have a Pearson assignment for today to go along with this. You'll probably also have one tomorrow going over